Hey everybody, welcome back to Pocket Change, the podcast where we talk about working part-time, online, on eBay, Poshmark, and other sources to try to make a little bit of extra cash to supplement our income. I'm joined by my co-host and best friend, Joe. Joe, how's it going this week?
How's it going, man? How about you?
You know what? I've had a crazy week. So last week I
I,
traveled for work after we did the podcast, and then there's a fly in here. Or maybe I'm crazy, I don't know.
maybe at both.
We're doing the podcast the next Sunday, and I'm back. I'm supposed to travel on Mondays, but there's a bunch of people coming in, so I came in a day early. But last week when I got here, I go to the hotel, and they'd given away my reservation. I got there, and they were like, "Oh, Mr. Benz, here's a piece of paper. Go to the Days Inn for today, and then we'll have your room tomorrow." And then I was supposed to be back there at 7 o'clock in the morning to talk to the manager. I go back 7 o'clock the next morning. Manager's not there, doesn't get there till 7:45, which makes me late for work, which pisses me off. Talking to him, he said, "That's the problem when you get reservations on those websites." And I'm like, "Dude, I used your website. It wasn't Expedia. It wasn't any other hotels.com. I got it on your website." And he's like, "Oh. Well, that's not the way it looks like it came through." I'm like, "Well, then apparently you don't know what your own website looks like." So he's like, "Don't worry, Mr. Benz will take care of you. I'll call you in a little bit." I called back there at lunchtime, and he says, "Yeah, we're working it out." And then 5 o'clock, I'm at work, getting ready to leave. I call. He's gone. The same desk lady that was there before says, "Yeah, you don't have a reservation here. I told you it was canceled yesterday." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "Yeah, no, now it's canceled." So now it's 5 o'clock, and I don't have a hotel. Then I went on there. Then I went on to Expedia. I'm like, "I'll find a hotel real quick." Found the Baymont Hotel, which was like $82 a night for a suite. And the next closest thing was like $170 for just a room. I'm like, wow. And it wasn't that far away from work, so well, let me go check that $82 a night out. And I went there, and it was really nice. So I stay in there this week again. So it was $88 a night this time. So I'm at the hotel, and I brought this. I'm trying everything I can to record because every time I have something wrong with my audio. Guys, I thank you for listening, and I'm sorry again that I'm inept on the audio. I have like 7 microphones, and one sounds good one time, then the next time it doesn't sound good, and I try a new microphone. Last time we tried to record on Friday night when I got back home, I couldn't figure out that because the program now has saved all these different microphones. I couldn't figure out which microphone to push, and then it took us like 10 minutes to get started. Eventually, I hit the right one. So I went in and deleted them all.
10? It was 45 minutes to get started.
Oh, okay.
That's why I've been telling him, ladies and gentlemen, just get one of these. One of the yes, it's a cord, but I mean, we use these at work and they are reliable. The red wire Plantronics, this isn't even Plantronics, this is a cheaper version, but they work. They're great. They just do the job. We've talked about tools that you need to do this job. A microphone's not necessarily one of them, but if you want to record anything or talk, starting to notice, and this is a good thing to bring up here. I am starting to notice that some of the videos on listings on eBay actually have people talking. So it's
Purposely?
interesting. Purposely, yes. You used to work for HSN, so
Yeah.
Home Shopping Network. So that's what it made me think of the other night when I researched an item and it popped up and it had a video. I was like, cool. And so I go to the video and it's like this young girl. I say young because she's younger than me. She's probably in her 20s or 30s. And she's actually, and it reminded me so much of HSN or QVC because she's like modeling the product in her hands and
That's cool.
she's like talking about it and everything. And I'm like, when did eBay become QVC or HSN? But
That's crazy.
apparently that's where we're at now, ladies and gentlemen. Now remember, you have to keep your videos have to be under 150. I think it's under 150 megabytes, and they have to be at least a minute long. So I don't know how she's recording. It wasn't the greatest picture in the world, but if you're going to do something like that, you may want one of these. He's got some kind of fancy microphone. This here was $18 on eBay. I mean, it works. I've been trying to talk him into one, but he doesn't really want to wear a whole headset type
Well, we are
thingy.
wearing the
So
headsets now, so
whatever.
and I have one of them, but I don't know. But the other thing on the way up here, the crazy thing, and I sent you that picture. There was a guy on a motorcycle, a speed
Oh
bike, laying down, hands on the handlebars, feet off the back. Because I came up on him, I'm like, he's got boots hanging off the back of that bike. No, that was his freaking feet. He was laying down on a motorcycle. Have you ever seen anybody do that?
no, but I have seen Harley guys, you know, just kind of lay back and cross their arms. I
Okay, yeah,
mean,
that makes sense. Because if
so
something goes weird, they can grab the handlebars. But if something hits, the dude's just laying down on a rocket bike. I'm like that dude's looking to die.
well, to be honest, those of us that ride motorcycles understand that when we get on them and we ride anywhere, it's really you're basically slightly suicidal. I mean, I'm not, and I can say that because I am a motorcycle rider, and there's gonna be some people might ride on our thing here and say, no, we're not. Yeah, basically, if you're riding anywhere but way out in the country, of course, even out in the country, you hit a deer or a
Yeah,
chicken,
yeah.
you're going for it. So if you ride a motorcycle, you basically are slightly suicidal, but that's okay. I mean, it's okay.
But you're not laying
We
down on
understand.
it. You're not playing Superman like you're flying, right?
No, I have let go of the handlebars before and just been like, no hands.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just
I
so.
think that's crazy. I would never do that, but I mean, each to their own.
Hmm.
I mean, I guess if he hit a real big bump, he just flies off of it and belly flops on the pavement. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't even understand it. It didn't make sense to me. Okay, reselling. This
We
is
haven't talked about reselling at all.
no.
We are glad you guys are with us, and I hope you've made it this far. Um, we've had an interesting week. We've both had an interesting week. He was on vacation mode for like 3 days. So let's catch up because we've talked about that before. But we know some things have changed. We know things are changing all the time. So give us a quick rundown, Benz, of how your week's been, or your last week was, with being on vacation, coming back. How many orders,
Well, I
everything.
came back on Wednesday. I sold 9 things all week. 2 on Grail, the rest on eBay. Not a big week. Total about around $270. Listing 5 a day. I need to do more, but I'm consistently listing 5 a day now for 2 weeks, and not seeing super sales. But again, I put my store on vacation starting last night at midnight until Wednesday, because I'll be back on Friday.
Now tell them why you take it all. Why on Wednesday? Because even though you're still out, you're coming back home.
So 3 day handling. So it sells on Wednesday. You don't have to ship it till Monday. So I have 3 day handling mode at the bottom where it's time away. It'll automatically update your handling time to equal the amount of time you're gone. When you just had vacation mode where you put it on vacation and it didn't sell. So not to do that, to keep it from not selling, I would just go in and change my handling time. Say I was going to be gone for 7 days. I'd make the handling time 7 days. But it would be 7 days all the way up until the day I was back. With the way it works today, I put in there through Wednesday. So then I got my 3 days to cover the days I'm back. And then on Tuesday it's saying 4 days. On Monday it's saying 5 days, and on Sunday it's saying 6 days. So it automatically adds the extra days on. I don't sell as fast, and I think that might be why I'm not doing well. But my goal right now, I'm going to travel again next week, be back for 2 weeks, and then probably travel for the rest of that month up until the 127th, which then I'll have to shut the store down because I'll be gone for more than 15 days.
How are you going to have? I don't know if you figured out the logistics of laundry there, but cool. I mean,
What?
I know I wouldn't. I wouldn't have enough laundry. I'd have to buy more.
Yeah, there's laundry here. I mean, I can do my laundry. Cost $1. Throw it all in one big load. I don't wear fancy stuff, so I don't have to worry about fabric softener. I have a small bottle of Cheers or whatever it's called, orange bottle. Is it Cheers? No, that's a bar.
I don't know.
Is it Cheers? Is Cheers?
I don't.
No, it's in the car.
I don't. I don't. I don't do any of that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I'm very fortunate. I fix stuff. I build stuff. I mow the
Oh, I
lawn.
don't do my own laundry at
I-
home, but I can't like bring my wife in my pocket for the week. Although she could come because she works from home Hey, honey, want to go sit in a hotel for a week? Probably not. No.
Probably not.
Yeah. Why would you?
She does
I'd have to
watch this.
board.
Anyway, back to reselling. So you you had kind of we talked a little bit about vacation mode. I want to point that out there, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the thing. So he's figured out that he can go to work, and he's still he's not knocking his store off for a whole 7 days. He's only knocking
Right.
it off for 3 days. He's getting back in time to ship everything out, keep everything going, but it does affect his store numbers a little bit because he and I, I don't know if you're watching our picker passes, then you kind of know where I'm going with this. But I know that Ben's has, roughly 1,300 items in his store.
Yes.
So the 1,300, if I can get the app not focused, yeah, this thing doesn't like when I pull up the calculator. 1,300, and if we divide it by, he said he sold 9 things. 2 on, what did you say?
2 on Macari,
2
7
on.
on. So I was going like in 7 days. I sold 1 a day.
So, but 1,300 divided by 7, so that's 185. Because what we're trying to do, and the rule of thumb there, ladies and gentlemen, that we're trying to use, and that the most guys on eBay selling their goal to get to is that there's 1 item per 50. 1 item sold per 50 that you've got listed. Now we're trying to figure this out and the dynamics of that. A lot of it we understand has to do with your sell-through rate, so we're not going to go into that tonight. But you need to check out our picker pass if you're not listening to those, because that's where we go into a lot of this stuff. But basically, he had a decent week. We won't say it's a great week because it's not. It's not where either one of us want to be. He had a better week than I did, of course, at $278. My week, I did end up selling again. It was great. Sold 2 items. Yeah. Made a whole whopping $18. But if you watch Picker Pass, you know that my stuff's kind of on the lower end anyway, and what my average sell price is. So, it is what it is. I'm working on that. But, it's interesting. I had taken everything down out of the store. Everything down. And I know Ben says don't do this, but every once in a while I think it's good to do it, to reorganize. And there's some tricks we've talked about in an earlier podcast you can use, such as cutting the background out of the pictures, changing the title just a little bit. Maybe you cut a word over here and put it in the front. That helps boost it a little bit more. So just one of those algorithm tricks. I've been doing that, watching and posting 10 a day. So I was posting my 10 a day because we talked last time, I think on here, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That I wanted to get to where I had 500 things going on, $500 going on a week. That's what I needed to do. And you were supposed to do 1,000, and I think you got, what'd you get? What'd you end up getting listed to?
Like $870. $879.52.
And I ended up actually doing a little over 600. I've looked back and looked at it, it's like 635, because I had some higher dollar items that I threw on there. My sales were way low, not where I want to be at all. $18 ain't going to do nothing for me. But there's a couple of things we've learned. We talked about the trip and how to do your vacation. We talked about in an earlier podcast. That's something Ben's has figured out. I'll go ahead and kick us off here with a couple of things that I learned this past week. One, I think now eBay's gotten into where 5 a day is too little. I don't think that's enough. I think if you're doing 5 a day, because I did it, it was interesting. I alternated between it. Some days I would do 10 at least. Some days I would do 5. So I kind of did that to kind of break it down. I did that over 4 days. And the days where I would make up the difference is the days I would sell. I would sell that day. And it wasn't necessarily an item that I had listed new. It was just the idea of consistently listing, plus those were days at higher numbers. So I think the more you're listing, and we've said this in the past, the more you're listing, the better.
Yeah.
But I do think there's a point of no return. In other words, we used to say you need to have 5 to 7 a day. I'm going to say now you probably need to have between 7 and 15 a day. I would go no more than 20. I really would do no more than 20. I think, and this is just a prediction here, we may end up going back and testing this, but I don't think you gain anything by going more than 20 per day.
Unless you have a lot of inventory. And
If you have a lot of-
if you can do 50 a day, You're not going to run out of inventory. You can
Right.
consistently do 50 a day. Do 50 a day.
Do 50. I don't think there's
No.
any more algorithm help for it. We can talk about it on here if you want to, but that's the one big thing I learned was you need to have more listing going on. Other thing that I learned was shipping. Okay, so if you have established your shipping policy, it will automatically default that and apply it to all your items. Sounds great. If you go to change your shipping policy, it will only apply that to the new items unless you manually go back in and update all of them. Now, if you change your shipping policy, the only way it used to be you could change your shipping policy without having to do anything whatsoever, and as long as you didn't have a watcher or an offer on the table, you were good. Now you have to do it through edit post, which basically kind of, changes it. You used to go on your screen, and change them, but now you got to go through edit post and all that stuff. You either have to do it in bulk, which you can, or do it in basically you got to take them down and put them back up for it to actually take effect. It's basically what you have to do. So you can't just go into your screen and edit your shipping anymore from your selling page. You actually have to go through edit post, which is fine. It just means it's moved it around a little bit. But that's the kind of things my week and kind of things I've learned. What's your learn objective this week, Benz?
Been seeing a lot of stuff that eBay's losing popularity and it's not selling as well as it did, and different things like that. So I kind of just was looking at how much revenue they're doing comparatively to before. 2024 is not as much information available, but it's showing that annual revenue of eBay, starting back from 2005 to 2023, 2005 was like 4.5 billion, and then in 2022 it was 9.7 billion, and in 2023 it was 10.1 billion. So they're going up, but I wonder if they went up because now we're paying for them to do the things they should do, which is advertising, right? So their net income last year was 2.7 billion, and the year before it was negative 1.2 billion. So it's just you start looking into it. They are making more money than they were, and this year seems to be going fairly well for them. But there's no year-over-year data to look at. So I was just kind of looking at that and trying to figure out, is eBay on the upswing or the downswing?
I think there's a lot more competition for them now.
Yeah, they made more money in 2023 than they made in 2023 over 2021, but the sales, the annual active sellers went down. In 2000 it was 18.3 million, and in 2023 it's 18.1. So the amount of sellers in eBay decreased that year. Just some interesting stuff.
But too that part of the reason that sellers have gone down, a big cut of it was eBay whacked a bunch of people out. Let's call it what it is. They whacked them out. Now they had their reasons. If you're scamming the system, you're cheating, you're doing things you shouldn't do, you're selling items you shouldn't do. If eBay tells you don't sell an item, don't sell it.
Right.
I mean, it's their field and their rules. You play by their game on their field, or you go home. And that's what a lot of it. What was it? I think there was like 50,000 people that they actually got rid of for selling counterfeit items. I mean, when you're talking 18.3 to 18.1, you're only talking what, 200,000 people?
Yeah, it's 200,000 sellers less. That's good for us. So less sellers.
Yeah, that's good for us. But
I was reading things about the financial outlook, and everything that I read was saying it's unlikely they'll undergo any financial crisis or anything over the next 2 years. They have enough money in the bank. The probability of them going bankrupt or closing down are nil for at least the next 2 years. So that's a good thing. So if you're trying to start on eBay, you at least got 2 years. They can cover the nut for 2 years. And the more I looked into it, it seems like it is growing year over year.
I think it comes and goes. I do think eBay's got a lot more competition. I think Mercari is coming on strong. I think Poshmark is finally making its mark on the industry as far as reselling industry goes. I think a lot more people are getting comfortable with it. For the longest time, eBay was king dog,
Yeah.
And then Amazon comes along. Amazon actually, and everyone's like, "Oh, Amazon's going to kill eBay." It didn't. Some of the dynamics changed, but it didn't kill it. And then Amazon and eBay have been neck and neck, and now I think there's more competition even for Amazon. I mean, Walmart.com has opened up. You can go actually do a reselling thing on Walmart.com now. Now it's a little different reselling platform. You know, not just that it's Walmart.com, but it's a little different style. Some of the items that you're going to sell on Walmart.com are not the same as eBay. Walmart and Amazon are kind of more, I put them more together than I do eBay. It's kind of like Amazon and Walmart.com, and then it's kind of like eBay, Poshmark,
Yeah.
Macari, Bonanza, over here. Because it's a little different client. Well, I don't want to say clientele because everybody orders off of those as well as eBay. I was interesting to see that I heard some young folks. I sound like I'm an old fart. I heard some people, let's just say, who are in the age range of 18 to 25 actually talking about eBay and buying stuff off of eBay now, whereas they didn't used to. And they were actually talking about that at where I work. I overheard them talking and I just smiled because it's funny. For a long time, kind of like Facebook,
Yeah.
eBay was considered for old folks. It's an old folks thing. It's where old folks go to buy stuff. And now what we're seeing is because of the market, because of the economy, because of things like that, these younger folks are actually starting to say, "Hey, wait a minute. Why would I pay this price here at this retail establishment when I can go on eBay and find a good, solidly used item for much, much more affordable price?" And they're starting to do that, and that's actually awesome if you're trying to get into this business. It really is, because let's face it, the more folks that are on there shopping, the better it is for all of us doing it.
Right. First quarter they have the information out. The cash flow for the company generated $615 million, and in the first quarter they bought back 10 million of their own shares, like $500 million. So if they were concerned with their business, they wouldn't be buying their stocks back.
I don't think, as far as financial strength, eBay's going anywhere, ladies and
No.
gentlemen. I think it's a great business to get into.
If you watch enough videos, eBay's dying, it's falling apart. What's going on? When will it be over? Is it at the end? And everything I'm reading is they're financially strong and they're growing. So it sounds like to me that a lot of that is clickbait. They just want people to click on their thing and watch it. They got me, right?
I think
But
there's a
I
lot of
wonder
that.
how much of their increase is. They used to just get 12% from us, and now you got to give them another 8 to 10% to sell your stuff. So
Yeah.
it didn't really say. It just talks about their dollars. It didn't talk about number of sales year over year. That's what I was trying to find. Are they selling less every day but making more money because they're charging us more to be on their platform? And I
I
don't
think
think that.
that's a strong possibility. I
Yeah.
do, because you and I have talked about that, and the ad rate, it ebbs and flows. Seems to, you know, just last year when you talked me into coming on and finally biting a bullet, did it. We were seeing ad rates around 2 to 10% tops. Then earlier this year, we saw them spike as high as 18 to 23. They
Yeah.
dropped back down now, but they've only dropped back down to around 8 to 15. So, yeah, which goes into our figures into our costs. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, you hear me talk about, okay, so if I'm buying an item and I know that I can sell it, I go check my solds and I can sell it at $45. That's what its average sale price is. I am literally dividing that by 2.5. Why? Because I want to at least double my money. And then on top of that, I'm figuring that point 0.5 in there to cover fees and discounts. And it doesn't always work out because I'm going to have to raise that little ratio there. But what that does is it gives me a round figure for sourcing. It means on a $45 sale item, I can't pay more than $18 for
Yeah.
it, not actually make any decent profit. So it makes it a little harder on sourcing, and we probably need to have another sourcing video update here as soon as a special. We might have to wait till you get back from 127.
We get back, right?
Yeah, you keep saying we. I don't think I'm gonna make it, dude. Like I said, I have no PTO time, so I'm trying to figure that one out. Um, we did, but anyway, we'll see, viewers. We'll see. Again, we appreciate you guys listening and everything like that. I'm skipping over this and going back to our topic there, but I think it's interesting. Learning stuff's not always about reselling. Sometimes it's learning about about your business, and your business is more than just buying an item and putting it on eBay. You got to know who you're working with. Which company is going to be the best? We know several sellers who, Ben and I know several sellers who just earlier this year they actually left eBay and went to a different platform as their primary platform. It happens, and I'm not willing to do that. I think if I was going to do another platform, I'd be adding other platforms, not getting rid of one, because getting rid of one and just going to another one, you got to learn a whole different platform, a whole different way of listing, a whole different, what works and what doesn't. Why get rid of something that is working in favor of learning something all new? There's a learning curve. So I don't know. I think that's good information to know, but I disagree with it from a financial standpoint. I don't think eBay is going anywhere. I don't think eBay is selling less. I think eBay is making more money, and I think you're right. They're making more money because of the ad rates. I do.
I agree. And then I read another article about the eBay Circular Fashion Fund. I think it was in Australia, kind of like the Up and Running fund they have for the U.S., but it was more
Mm-hmm.
around fashion. And the top prize was like 100 grand. The
Wow.
runner-ups got like 50 grand Australian money. So I don't know how that equates. It's a
We'll
big
find
problem, I
that
guess,
out.
in Australia. They're throwing away 200 tons of clothing a year. And I don't
Wow.
know. They don't for that for as little amount of people are there. It seems like an extreme amount.
That is a lot.
So there was three people that won.
Actually,
Well,
it's
they
only
were
a
more
dollar.
like companies that won. So
It's only a dollar and a half. So 152. So U.S. is worth $1.52 Australian dollar.
yeah.
So $3 Australian is worth $2 U.S.
So
Basically,
100,000 divided.
you divide it by 1.52.
There you go.
It's gonna be somewhere around like
Well, 65,000,
six.
and
I was
then the
gonna say
second
like
place got
65,000.
33,000. So that's not
Yeah,
bad.
that's not
It's a
bad
good
at all.
thing.
That's better than the one
They
we
did
get
that
here.
first quarter. That was kind of interesting. So hopefully everybody heeded my warning and put in for the $10,000 you can get. Did you fill out your application?
I did not. I did not. I don't like the stuff like that. And they start asking me for my private information. I'm not doing it. Nope, not
It wasn't
happening.
that
I don't.
private. It was
I don't.
all information anybody could find out about you. So
I don't know you like that. Sorry, but you let it go to somebody who's more who needs it more. You know, I've got a job. I'm trying to get this built up, but and I know you went after it so that it could help you, I guess, buy more stuff. I don't know.
yes,
Maybe
I want to be able to rent 2 more storage units. So I need the cash.
he's he's kidding. He's tell your wife you're kidding. Tell your wife you're kidding, right? She's gonna kill you. But
I read another thing. It's the opposite of what I thought. Right. So it says, "Do millennials buy on eBay?" Article I read, and it was saying that Gen Z buyers are the second most active generation, topped only by millennials.
that's what I just said.
Yeah,
That's what I'm finding out.
yeah. But
Yeah.
I mean, there's an article that says that hey, you know what? It's not just us old timers, you know, but us Generation X. I mean, we're the smallest generation. We're like the silent generation of our generation, right? So that's what we learned this week.
Well, hang on. I talking about what you're saying. I think the millennials are the ones who are doing the reselling. I'm on
Yes,
that
I think they
verge.
are.
I'm at, what's called a zennial or whatever. I'm the beginning of the millennials, the very end of the Gen X. That range right there from like 78 to 80. I think it's
Yeah,
84. That they kind of lump us into, and they're like, what do we do with these people? Because they're like Gen X, but they're too positive for Gen X. So, but so they don't quite know what to do with us. So I'm in that range, very very young. In fact, if I am a Gen X, I'm last year of Gen X, which I see that a lot. But I think the millennials are the ones who are doing most of the reselling. I really think they are. I don't think it's most of us in Gen X to Zennials. I think the millennials are the ones because they're really into. I don't know. They're the ones who are fighting back. The companies keep pushing and saying that they're gonna bring more people back to offices and they're gonna make you start punching a time clock. And the millennials are fighting back like they're like, fine, I'll leave, I'll quit. What are you gonna do? I read an article today that said that according to Forbes interviews, probably another 35% companies, Fortune 500 companies, are going to start forcing people to come back to work starting in the next quarter. And I'm like, have you not learned that didn't work for the others that tried that?
Yeah.
I think millennials are done with that. I think Gen X is like, Jesus, I just want to get to retirement. And the millennials are like, I'm not even going to start down that path. You're not going to get me to work a 9 to 5. I'll work, but I'm not going to work a 9 to 5. And so I think it's going to be a problem for companies. I really think it is.
No, I see it as a manager, getting younger people. I mean, the best employees I have are older than me.
But what's going to, I mean, and there's the thing. So talking about eBay reselling, I think we're starting to see Gen Z is buying like crazy
Yeah.
because they don't have, let's face it, the job market is not the greatest. It's not. Oh, we've added so many 100,000 new jobs. Where? I don't know. I mean, McDonald's is paying $15 an hour. Yeah, but they're only hiring like 2 cashiers where they were hiring like 10. You can see all this. You can read it all if you want to. So the job market is not as strong as it was, and so I think Gen Z is having to buy. And they're plus they're. I think they might be thriftier than we were. I think they might be what are they? The reuse recycle generation? Is that what they are?
Yeah.
Were they the ones with all the Yeah, they were the ones with all the commercials in amongst all their cartoons growing up. Reuse, recycle, And so, I mean, I think we're going to see Gen Z coming on strong. We better start researching what items they like.
Yeah, and that really was eye opening to me when I saw that the average age, 39% of the people buying on eBay are 18 to 24, and 36% of them are 25 to 34. So I wouldn't have thought that 75% of the people buying there were under the age of 34, according to what I read. And hey, and the other thing that would surprise me in my research, what sex buys on eBay the most?
Men.
Yeah, 60% men.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why we're selling all these women's clothes, because frugal deals. Hey, so I was looking at your thing. You got a lot of clothes up there again.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed. That's only worth $5.99.
That's it. It has a cultic following, but it's not large. So the Assassins, and they release so many of them. There's like 5 different Assassin's Creed video games.
Okay.
And then they mass produced them like crazy, and then that's PS3. I will say this, here's what I'm finding out. PS3 is starting to wane.
Yeah.
It's not caught back up yet. So PS3 is because PS4s are starting to become more available on the secondary market.
Yeah.
Because PS3s are going down the crapper right now, and they have not reached the nostalgic area yet. So a lot of PS3, they might not ever,
because they come out so fast, right? They're up to the PS5s now. So
well, the PS3 was around.
PS1s I know they're still nostalgic, but they were around for a lot longer. It seemed like. Yeah. There's people selling that game for $1.97.
Yeah, it's not a very high dollar game. I can't sell it that cheap. I'd rather just hang on to it or whatever. I'm not gonna. I can't ship it. I can't sell it, ship it, package it up, do all that stuff for $1.97. I can't.
See, that's what I was going to ask you. You got 2 different games. One's is 3, and one is what, the Brotherhood or something like that on there. They're both $5 games. Why would you not put them together and sell them for $10 or $9.95?
That's not a bad idea.
Somebody might go, I don't have either one of them, and buy it.
A bundling. I could do that.
That's
Right
you
now,
you
I'm
just need to take
trying to
one
get
picture of the two together and then combine the pictures you have.
the thing is inventory. See, there's my catch.
You got
It's
the opposite problem I got.
yeah, it's inventory.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I need the inventory. I'm trying to get to the 620, and if you don't know the 620, if you don't know what that is, ladies and gentlemen, you
420 is
need to
better.
go. You need to go. You need to go listen to our pick or pass. If you're not, you need to go listen to it because we're going to start throwing out things here on this podcast that if you're not listening to the other one, you're not going to catch. You're just not. Yeah, so I'm not going to go into the 620, but I'm trying to get the 620. I think Ben's is trying to get to the 5K, and we'll see which one actually produces better. But it's two different mentalities that we are trying out to see for you guys. But yeah, right now, why would I not bundle? I'm not bundling anything. I wanted to bundle my Funko Pops and decided against it because I need to get to that 620. Honestly, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening right now and you're into Funko Pops, I will make you a heck of a deal on 3 Funko Pops. Message me. Get on eBay, Frugal Deals, send me a message. I mean, make me an offer. I will, if it's reasonable, I will really, 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 really consider it. Wish I had never bought Funko Pops. But hey, I thought they were going to go somewhere. Whereas Ben's, if you really want some Funko Pops, you're looking for that rare one that you don't have, he probably has it in a box somewhere because he's got like 500,000 of them stinking things.
I don't have 500,000. I might have 100, maybe 150.
100, maybe 150, maybe 200, maybe 300 Funko
And I'm sure
Pops.
there's boxes of them in storage I gotta find and get posted.
Probably got some rare one that you're gonna be sitting on 20 years from
Actually,
now.
I do. I remember buying a set. They were open, and there was a bunch of rarer ones that I got a good deal on at a yard sale. And I don't have them listed. So there is some ones that are rare that are open. I think I needed to clean them, but I should probably look for them. But
Yeah, probably a good idea. How's your postcards thing coming along? Because we came across what was it one lady who she's making like her entire business
yeah,
off of postcards. She's doing astronomical.
so we need to do a deeper dive into it. I don't know what I'm doing. I lotted them up 12 at a time, selling them for $15. She's selling all hers for like $7 a piece. I'm like, what the heck?
You're right.
Yeah.
What's our next topic here? Is we've talked about things we've learned. We talked about how our week was.
Supposed to look at each other's store.
We talked about each other's store. And I was asking you about your postcards, but you're right. That probably would be a better thing on pick or pass.
So I did run an auction. I took 5 of the sets and put them on auction for $5 start. Nothing. They got some views, but nobody bid on them.
I don't know if auctions. I mean, some guys make a lot of money on auctions. I do have an item, and I want to bring this item to your attention. So I want you to bring up one of our favorite sources, which is Shop Goodwill. The app's probably going to go a little crazy as I do this, ladies and gentlemen. So if my camera fades in and out, I apologize. My computer is a little bit on the more older side, but I love it, and even though my wife wants me to get rid of it, I don't want to. But I'm going to give it to you. So the number is 201 486 682. I'm getting ready to really make Ben's mad because every time I buy something, it decides to not sell anymore.
That's a cool little buckle.
That's what I was wondering. Gravely. It's a Gravely. It's a lawnmower brand, like a commercial lawnmower brand. But I'm like, well, I'm looking at it, and it looks to me like you can make some money at it. But is it an actual decent belt buckle?
Yeah, no. I mean, that belt buckle, I looked it up. I mean, there's one for sale. It says rare find on. Did you look it up already?
I hadn't really, because I've got it as I like going in and like things that intrigue me. I do as my favorites, and then I go back and look them up later.
Yeah, you shouldn't buy that. I should.
Probably should. You probably will sell it. I'll get it. It'll never sell.
Well, there's one for sale on Etsy for $105.
Yeah, I didn't find one on eBay at all, which can be a good thing or a bad thing.
What's the shipping?
Outrageous, because that's what they're doing.
Well, they're charging you a $3.99 handling fee.
Yeah, it's $11.13 shipping for me.
$11.45 for me.
Yeah, but don't you bid on it.
I'm not going to.
You know,
Heck yeah, I'm going to bid on it. You can't buy that. That's my thing. No, you should buy that. That's a good find.
Belt buckles is your thing. I did find another item called I want to talk about this item a little bit while we're talking about items. It's not on either one of our stores. And I know it's more of a pick or pass thing, so maybe I'll save it for it. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll save it for it. Let me give you one more belt buckle, and you tell me if it's worth a doodle dang, okay? It's got no bids. I'm going to give you one more belt buckle here. That seems a little high to me on that one.
Well, that's a handmade, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've started trying to look for some weird items. Ladies and gentlemen, here's what I've figured out.
That same one's on eBay for $25. So it is way too high, $10 plus the shipping.
Yeah, way too high. Okay. I started learning that some weird items like, Bob Ross Chias. I went back and looked at was watching our podcast there and came back across that. And I was like, maybe I need to look for some weird items. Ben's is normally into belt buckles. He's got a bunch of, he's into a lot of things. I mean, indigenous art.
Quit busting on my indigenous art, man. Although, I will be honest with everybody on here, it's not something you should be buying on an auction. Because I bought a bunch of it, and then when you start going through it, there's little nicks and breaks and stuff that you can't see in the picture that really frustrates you when you go to list it.
Well, I don't think it's not just that. It's not just that. Don't buy indigenous art, folks, before you listen to our pick or pass. All right, let's put it that way. Don't buy.
No, it has a crappy sell-through rate, but you know what?
We're not supposed to tell them that here.
But you don't know how crappy.
Mike's over going, I do.
Yeah.
Mike's like, I know exactly how crappy the sell-through rate is on that. You should take that with you to the 127 and just walk behind somebody's booth and set it up. You'll be like, shh, I'm working here. See if you can sell it. Take some stuff with you to sell. You should do that. You probably do that just by opening your trunk in the parking lot.
There's nothing in my trunk. Well, there is. There's like 75 lawnmower blades. I still haven't took them out.
His car's sitting like that, like it's ready for a drag race.
I know. I should have already listed them because it's that time of year. Someone might actually want a lawnmower.
I know, and you've had it for like, what,
Ever.
6 months?
Yeah,
7 months now?
But I just threw them in the bottom of the thing, and I got to put them in a box, and then, they're kind of heavy.
Oh, it's a lot of work, ladies and gentlemen.
Man.
It's a lot of work.
It's too much for me.
I will tell you, ladies and gentlemen, here's the big thing. If you're going to do ladies' clothes, invest in 12 different rulers, 12 different yardsticks, so you can take one picture, because it is crazy how many pictures you will have to take, and how many times then somebody will actually message you and say, what's the da-da-da? Like, what's the inseam on this one? Well, there's the picture. Now, can you tell me exactly how you measured the inseam? What's there in the picture? Well, I'd like for you to measure it a different way. Ma'am, the inseam is the inseam. But anyway, make sure you're taking a lot of pictures there. Anyway, what's a good item? Let's go. Let's see if I can get it clicked over here to you and see if I can find. Well, let's go on the phone here. See if I can find a good item for you to tell us about. Because you're right. We need to get back to talking about items because here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen.
If you talk about them, they sell.
Yeah, if you talk about them, they sell. So, if you've got an item you want us to talk about, that you've got an item, message us. We'll talk about it. We might tell you you need to go watch your pick or pass because it might be a crappy item. But, okay, let's see. Oh, you're getting some of the cars listed on here we talked about in pick or pass, but here's a pretty cool one. What about this 1968 Federated El Camino?
Yeah, so that one was pretty good.
Yeah, $49.95. It must be a pretty good one.
Yeah, so it's 49. But you know what? I was going to send you one of those Richard Petty's, but they're $100. So I'm still going to send
Yeah,
you.
good lord.
I
He
know.
said he said he said
I'll
you had to
send
buy one
you.
of them.
No, I'm going to send you the. Sure, you wouldn't rather have like a 1957 Thunderbird?
I'm
That
pretty
ain't worth
sure, yeah.
nothing.
It ain't worth
But
nothing.
no, those, so I bought them about $5 a piece. I paid for those. It wasn't for any specific reason. It's just something they were selling. Some of the ones are for toys for tots and stuff like that. That one was just cool. It's a cool one that's worth $50, and I'm probably 10% below where everybody else was with them.
I see that you've got a vintage Bible.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Tell us about cassettes. I tried to sell cassettes and I couldn't get them sold to save my life. Diffie, A Night to Remember. Now, that must be a single.
Yeah. So there's a Joe Diffie Night to Remember. I think there's a Clint Black on there, and there's one other one. They were all singles. So I find that the singles in CDs or singles in cassette tapes have more value than full albums. All of those other cassettes that I listed are all sealed except for those singles. So I buy the singles because they usually have more value than if you had that whole Joe Diffie cassette.
Really?
Yeah. Because they make them in limited amounts, right? When they do the singles, they don't mass produce them. Go
Okay.
back to Taylor Swift. The best one to find is her first song, which was, I don't know, the one she sings about some guy. What's the guy?
Tim McGraw, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Tim McGraw. The best one is the Tim McGraw one, which was a single that came out, and they only made 10,000 of them. So if you find the Tim McGraw single from Taylor Swift, that's her first album, but it was a single.
She's probably got all of them. She's bought them all back. She's releasing one every time she needs money. Didn't you do a Thrifty Treasures on it?
No, I didn't do a Thrifty Treasures on that.
Well, you can. You should.
Mhm.
If you haven't watched these Thrifty Treasures, ladies and gentlemen, you should go to the channel and watch the Thrifty Treasures. They're pretty cool. Of course, our shorts are really awesome, but
Yes, our shorts are fun.
iPhone wants me to know that I've almost used all my iCloud storage. It's because I'm starting to make videos for eBay. I'm going to put on some of my. I'm going to try on some of the clothes I've got. I'm kidding.
Yeah, Taylor Swift's debut single CD with the normal CD, two together, is listed right now for $2,000.
Goodness. So if you've got one, ladies and gentlemen, you might want to sell it. You might want to list it. If you come across one at a yard sale, buy it. If some parent's throwing out their kids' Taylor Swift stuff, you might want to buy it all.
If you can find anything with her signature on it, her CDs with her signature on it are hundreds of bucks. It's crazy. Yeah, so that one, the CD, that one signed, is on an auction now, starting at $750. Buy now price $4,000.
Yeah.
I'd be happy
Okay.
with $750.
Yeah, I doubt they'll be happy with $7.50.
Oh, $750.
I doubt they'll be happy with $750. It's buy it now $4,000.
Yeah,
It's
here's
probably got
another
a
one,
reserve on it.
$1,000. Yeah, you're right. Probably does. So let's do sold. I'm looking up. Hold on.
You're getting into pick or pass, man. We don't want to give away our sauce now.
Well, we're not going to put the Taylor Swift CD on there.
We might. That might be a good item.
So sold, open, 650, 800, 1100, 600, 495, 1100 sold for that single CD. That's crazy,
Good
man.
Lord. So there's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. The reason we're doing the pick or pass, the reason we're talking about this is I got a beard hair in my mouth. That's not the reason we're talking about it. The reason we're talking about it is Ben and I started realizing, okay, you've heard us talk before about having higher dollar items. It's not really about having higher dollar items. In fact, we have discovered that the biggest items that sell on eBay. So in other words, what makes the most money is the $15 to $20 item. We've learned that and we've not really, we're trying to figure all this out. So you're just hearing the cusp of it. If you're listening to our podcast right now, you are hearing the cusp of what we're doing. This is how we start research. We look at something, we go, wait a minute, this is what they're doing. How do you do it? How do you copy it? And then we pass it on to you guys. So we're kind of jumping the gun here from what we normally do a little bit, because we don't want to tell you guys, we'll tell you when we do something wrong, but we don't want to tell you something to do that ends up being wrong.
Yeah.
But what we found out is $15 to $20 items are the ones who sell. Yes, $3,000 items, $5,000, $10,000 items sell on eBay. They do. But the bulk of what sells, dollar items sell on eBay too. But the bulk of what sells in the price range is $15 to $20. But it has a better than 50% sell through rate, these items. And so what we're trying to do is figure out the bolos, figure out what are the items that are the 50 or above. So I'm not going to give it away. Go list our last picker pass or one that's coming out soon, where Ben's actually has an item that has a 233% sell through rate. We're not going to talk about that item right now. We're plugging our other picker pass. So this comes out Thursday.
Yes,
so
it's out already.
It will be out by the time you listen to this. You're going to want to go hear that if you've not, because I'm telling you, that is a heck of an item. In fact, I have started searching for those items all over the place and all the sources, because I'm like, good Lord, a 233% sell-through rate, that is incredible. Must not be many of them, must be high demand.
Yeah.
Don't tell anybody where you're getting it. Let them do some research on their own. I think you found them at a yard sale, didn't you? Know what you said?
Yeah, I found them at a yard sale. That's it.
Yeah.
I just, paid $2 a piece for them. Thought they were cool.
With a 233% sell-through rate. Go listen to Picker Pass. You'll know what we're talking about. All right, I keep plugging that. I love that show.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It is. I mean, this one's good because we're giving a lot of stuff, and this is tried and true, ladies and gentlemen. Everything we're telling you on here, Picker Pass is kind of an art of discovery. Which, if you're in this business, you're going to find out that there's two aspects you really like. You like sourcing, and you like the ching sound that happens when eBay sells.
Yep.
Those are the two things you're going to find out you really like. None of the other stuff you don't like. You're not going to like, if you like listing, Lord have mercy, I'd like to meet you. In fact, I've got some things you can come do some work for me. If
I
you
like the listing part. I mean, but
I don't.
I like taking the pictures. I like the whole thing. I mean, I do definitely like the sourcing better, since I have 4,000,
Obviously,
400,000 items I haven't listed yet. But it's just a matter of time for me. So that's what I need to figure out. So if I can win that,
if he can win the 10,000, he's actually going to take some time off work and list.
I'm just going to go take it, invest it, and try to make this run, right? Try to, I've been talking to my wife. I mean, we had a long conversation while I was home for one day after traveling for work. That, and she's like, my job's ending, right? So I can move on with this company maybe, but I have to move. I don't want to move. She doesn't want to leave Florida. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. And she's like, well, did you, ask me if I've applied for jobs? I really haven't. I've looked. I applied for one or two. I actually got an offer for a job, but it was a travel job. And I'm like, I don't want to do that because I want to run eBay. But if it comes down to it, I'm going to go. They're building a Starbucks at the end of my development. That'll be done in like 2 months. So I'm going to go to Starbucks. I'm going to get a job as a barista and get my insurance, because I could go on my wife's insurance, but we have two different ideas about insurance. She always gets the most expensive one. I only go to the doctor if I'm falling apart. So I'm not going to pay $700 a month because I'm not going to use it. Right? I go with the catastrophic plan, which is only, $200 a month out of your check, and you got to pay the first $5 or $7 grand. But if you do the math, actually, it costs you about the same either way.
My wife and I only have an FSA. We don't even have the insurance. We just got an FSA.
But if you work for Starbucks, even part-time, they will give you insurance.
Yeah, and it's like day one, too.
Yeah, day one. It started right up. Yeah. And then, or Home Depot. She works for Home Depot. I could go there and work part-time. There's a distribution center down from work. I'd just jump on a forklift, drive around all day, not have any cares. I don't know. I think I'm done with being the boss and telling people what to do and having to meet my quotas. I mean, I can work hard. I mean, I've proved that coming up here. For not the last time. Now I'm helping them do some other stuff, but I came up here and jumped on a forklift and worked 2 weeks straight and didn't have a problem. Actually, it felt better. Like my shoulder didn't hurt.
Ben's don't want to be the boss anymore. He don't want to make the decisions. He just.
I don't mind making the decisions. I just don't. I don't want to be if you want to make me the boss, I want to be the high up boss, right?
That's where my wife is. She doesn't want to be that anymore at all. She doesn't want to be middle management. None of that junk.
Yeah.
She's like, nope. I'm content just to sit in my cubicle, punch my numbers, because she's an accountant,
Yeah.
and
I either want to be executive level or a supervisor. The people in the middle, the managers, the senior managers, the directors, those are the guys that have to make sure everything happens every day, every week, every month. The supervisor just has to hit his numbers for the day, and then he gets to leave. My phone rings because I have a problem with the fire alarm in our building. They took the fire alarm and moved it into another section because what we're doing with the building like 3 months ago. So now it's on the landlord instead of being on our company. But I get a phone call twice a day from the freaking alarm company telling me that the phone line's disconnected. Well, it is because we're not using it anymore. And I can't get anybody to stop the phone. I finally get a hold of the guy. He's like, yeah, our system's not calling you. Well, yeah, it is. It's calling me every day. 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. my phone rings. 8 a.m., 8 p.m. telling me that the phone's not hooked up to an alarm that doesn't work anymore, and I can't get anybody to stop it. I'm going to leave this company, and 20 years from now, I'm still going to get an 8 a.m. phone call. And it's an automated phone call from some robot going, hello, we're calling about this location. The phone line's not working. Well, no crap. We ripped the box out the wall. That's my rant for the week.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we have been talking for over an hour, and I don't think we've talked about reselling for more than probably 35 minutes out of it.
You know, we say that, right? And then I go back and edit. Like the last one that came out last Thursday, we were like, man, we didn't talk about anything worthwhile. Dude, it was one of our better. It was really good. I was like, hey, we actually talked about stuff. This is crazy. I thought we were just like off on a tangent. We really didn't go off on tangents, and neither did we today.
I got paint on my arm.
Yep, paint on your arm.
If you've been watching our podcast long enough, you know that I'm into building. I've kind of got my own channel I'm developing over on another side that's in remodeling, and so did a little bit of painting today, and apparently I got paint on my arm. Didn't get it washed off in the shower. That's okay. I'll wear it to work this week. Or taking my shower for the week. That's what my dad always says. I bathe every day, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, so I think we've covered all of our topics, haven't we?
Yeah, we hit everything we were supposed to, I think.
We got all of our objectives. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. We're so in tune to working, we have metrics for this.
Yes. Well, we got to get better, right? We got to get so then, so we got to get more people. One thing I'd like to add is viewer comments. We don't get none. Comment of the week. The comment of the week was the thumbs up. That's what we got. And then last week, the comment of the week was the fat guy's always drinking Wendy's. I think we're worried he's going to have a heart attack because he always has Wendy's every damn day. So I had to go out and buy special cups so I don't have a Wendy's cup.
You know what is so interesting about that?
What?
Is the fat guy is always drinking Wendy's, but I'm sitting here vaping through the hall.
That's the one thing I don't like about this building. When I'm here, when I go out, it's break time. Everybody's vaping, and it's like confetti, tropical fruit punch, strawberry, bubble gum, and I'm smelling all that. And then I'm like, that just came out of somebody's lungs. It's going into mine. This isn't right. When it was smoke, you just go, the smoke. I never smelled the smoke. But when it's all these crazy fruit flavors, it's just like everywhere. It's just like, and they like you do. You suck it in, and they go. You never saw anybody blow out a whole face full of smoke, unless they were hot boxing that cigarette, like burning it down. Yeah.
That's a weak one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Not impressed. Not impressed.
No, that was weak. Oh, but it's because my coal's about dead. If the coal was hot, I can blow a big one. But that's why my wife now, she's got one. She can do like.
That's why your wife likes you, because you can blow a big one. What are you talking about?
She does vaping too, but now her vape thing is like incognito. Like it fits in the palm of her hand. She can act like she's coughing in her hand, and then she can make it don't even blow nothing out. So she could do it like in an airplane. I mean, never knows anything. I mean, it blows nothing out. But me, I'm over here like, no, I pull this thing out. They're like, Sarah, we're gonna put you outside.
So when he whips it out, they see it.
Well, went back and watched that one. Apparently I'm 24, not 13. Oh, that's right.
I cut that down some though. I got the most dirty stuff out there. I left the thought process in.
Yeah, you did.
There was so much dirtier further down. I'm like, oh, okay, that's a little risque.
Why? Yeah.
Family friendly.
Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, if he ever releases the blooper reel, you people are in for a hoot. What about that one where I'm like,
Yeah. What you got down there? All right. Let's say goodbye.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it has been awesome. I hope you did learn some things, or at least had some entertainment. Put your comments. I mean, Lord of mercy, we take your comments pretty seriously. Ben got rid of his Wendy's cup and actually bought 2 cups to replace it. So he's got a pink one or a purple one and a blue one. At least he may have a whole nother color. I don't know.
No, I got blue and purple. Yeah. Walmart, 2 of them, $4.
But
for $2 a piece.
So we do listen. And we like to. We would like to have more comments. So place your comments.
Yeah,
my eye.
If you look over there on the thing, there's my Wendy's cup. So I was traveling.
He still got it.
All right, this got crazy.
We're gonna end this.
Okay. Hey
We're
again.
trying to end it.
Hey everybody, thanks again for watching. It was another great show. Got my buddy over there in North Carolina.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Great show. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to hit the bell so that you get notifications when one gets loaded, and make sure you like and subscribe. Yeah,
the bell?
you need to add the bell. If you don't, do we not have the bell?
I don't know what the bell is. You were talking about that.
No, the bell should be on there. Anyway,
I think it is.
They know what we're talking about. Hit the bell so you know on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and we're thinking about putting up some more as well. So just
so if anybody wants to comment, we were thinking about chopping the segments into like more digestible bits. So instead of doing a long hour podcast, do like 4 15 minutes and pop them every day. But we'd have to do 4 intros, right? Yeah.
We'd have to do 4 intros.
I need a haircut. I look like a freaking hippie.
Anyway, folks, we were thinking about chopping them up, but make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that bell. We really enjoy doing these for you guys.
We do, and
I hope you enjoy them as well.
Thanks again for watching. I'll talk to you later.
Later.
Bye.